Hello everybody! Welcome to Agashi Review, where I review movies, dramas that you don't want to waste your time watching. I'll give you a synopsis, short review along with my thoughts and opinions, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe and leave a comment below. Now let's go into the review. Hello everybody, Agashi here today. So today I'm going to be doing a Korean drama review, and this drama is called Taxi Driver. It is so good. It's a total of 16 episodes and it airs on Friday and Saturday. I watched the first 5 episodes already, but I'm going to only review with you guys the first 2 episodes. That's how good it is that I watched it, and I literally told my sister about it, that it's a really good drama because she's just home now, and I'm like, it's a really good drama, go check it out. And I explained to her just how I'm going to explain you guys the recap right now, and it's up to episode 7 and 8 right now, and she watched all of it in one go, in one night. That's how much time she has to watch it all in one go. And so she's like, it's so good. I'm like, see, I told you it's really good. So I'm going to be going over the cast synopsis in the first 2 episodes with you guys. As for our cast, we have Lee Ji-hoon playing Kim Do-ki, Lee Sung playing Kang Hana, Kim Eun-sang playing Jang Sung-chu, and Pil Yi-jin playing An Gong-eun, and Lee Yu-jun playing the investigator Hwang, and Chang Ji-young playing Paek Sung-min, Chang Hyun-jin playing Choi Kyung-gu, and Bae Yu-ran playing Park Ji-ong, and there's tons of other people, and we get a lot of cameos as the episode goes on. But the synopsis is Do-ki has lived more honestly than anyone else as an officer in the special forces. Yet, when a serial killer murders his mother, he spends his days in misery and agony. And while feeling wrong and broken, he ends up meeting Chang Soo-chul, who recruits him to work at his company called Deluxe Taxi. From there on, Deluxe Taxi seems like a taxi service, but they actually is a secret organization who goes out and gets avenge on their victims, which the law didn't protect them. He is the star driver for Deluxe Taxi. He's always satisfying their victims, their clients, on getting revenge, while Hana, who is the prosecutor who investigated into Deluxe Taxi, and she's confused to see that the laws cannot solve these cases, and why is it that they go out there and get revenge when all Do-ki wants is to seek justice. Recap on the first 2 episodes. The drama starts us off with the sexual predator Chu Do-chul, who is let out of prison early when he got caught, and he was given this death sentence. So pretty much citizens are not happy because they're politics and everything got him out, and he's being released. Just then, Deluxe Taxi came and picked him up from the prison gate, and with all the reporters in the cars chasing after this taxi because they're like, why did you get out free? They're questioning and everything. Citizens and reporters wants to know, and they're like, you're given the death sentence and everything. How are you out? So this brings up a lot of the questions and kind of gives us an intro to even people like this get set out free. The law doesn't do justice. That's why Deluxe Taxi is created. Well, Do-chul laughs in the car in the taxi, and he realizes that the taxi driver isn't driving him to his destination, which is Busan. He tries to imitate the driver, which is Do-ki, to get him to go to Busan, but Do-ki doesn't care, stabs him, knocks him out. He drives into the tunnel and meets Chang Soo-chul, who he works for. They swap cars, change labels and everything, and turn their car, and so as they leave the tunnel, their cars are undetected. And this is where they introduce Deluxe Taxi to people. And then next we get introduced to prosecutor Kang Hana, who is at the hospital waiting for a criminal to wake up. This shows how just dedicated she is when she gets a case, and everybody calls her a torai, a freak. When she gets a case, she will go to the end until she finishes, she solves it, she completes it, case closed. She never lets a case sit and becomes a cold case and everything like that. And when she quickly learns that Chu Do-chul gets released and he went missing, now she's on the hunt to find him. Moving on, we get to see Do-ki goes to working as a regular taxi driver, and he sees this gangster car and trying to like block off or trying to get into like an accident for the school van full of kids, trying to always like, you know, cut them off and everything, just because the school van stopped in front of them because there was like an accident. It stopped and it changed lane and it pisses off these gangster car. So Dookie sees this and he decides to go and block them and save the school van and scare off the gangster car and everything. The school van leaves and he gets stopped by these gangster. His passenger is afraid and like here's like, oh no, we're busted, we're gonna get beat up, let me call the cops. So Dookie ends up beating up these gangsters and these gangsters ends up begging for their life, and this passengers are like, oh, I'm dealing with the taxi driver that is not who I think I'm dealing with. I'm just gonna hang up the phone on the cops and leave. So it kind of shows us Dookie's ability there. And then the scene changes and we see a lady running away from the hospital, walking alone in the streets at night, and she's afraid of the cops. She decides to go to the bridge and jump, but she sees a sticker that says Deluxe Taxi Service. Don't die, get revenge, we'll do it for you. She makes the call and Dookie picks her up. The Deluxe Taxi takes this case, and this is where we learn how the Deluxe Taxi work. There's consistent of 4 people: Chang Sun-chul, who runs the Bluebird and the taxi company, and then Angong, who's the receptionist. She takes on the cases and everything like that, and she's always like the person in the back of the truck. And then Choi Kyung-gu and Park Shi-young, who is car's engineer, and Kim Do-ki, who is the driver. And so Chang Sun-chul's parents were murdered, and he couldn't get revenge on the killer back then, like many years ago. So during that time, he ran a taxi company. That's when he created Deluxe Taxi, where it's a service to get revenge for people who are weak and cannot do it, and the law didn't do them justice, the law didn't protect them. Pretty much to get rid of everything, and you know, because the system is so effed up, he creates that because the system can't do anything. He pretty much picked up Kim Do-ju, who is a lieutenant, and his mother was murdered by a serial killer, and they couldn't do anything to help him, you know. So when they first met, the police actually came to Kim Dookie's house to perform the scene again with the serial killer, how he stabbed and killed Dookie's mom. Dookie is standing among the crowd, and he's upset and he's frustrated, and he sees this guy, you know. So he jumps in and to get revenge on this killer. He beats up every single cop that got in his way, and he almost gets to the killer, but they tase him, and he refused to still go down. So this is when Chang Sun-chul sees that he has potential, you know, and he wants to seek revenge, you know. So he's the perfect guy to get him a part of Deluxe Taxi. So he hires Dookie, and that's just when they started Deluxe Taxi, and Dookie is actually the guy who drives and, you know, goes out and get all these revenge. So the first case they actually take with the first episode is there's a girl named Kim Mary, who is an orphan, and she's 18, and she's a social worker who works for the church. When their orphan people, their orphan kids turns 18, she takes them to go find a job. Well, she brings them to this Chokta company. And Maria, she has a level 3 disability, but she's very excellent in computer skills and everything like that. So when she refused to descale fishes that she's supposed to do, the owner, who is actually played by Tae Han-ho, Nawangshi, she always calls him Nawangshi, or Alexander from Busted, he tortures her, he drowns her, locks her up in the freezer, and like we get to see that this place actually tortures a lot and abuses their workers. Maria suffers a lot and she cannot escape. When she tries to, there's a cop that roams around the place, the Chokta company, and he roams around on purpose so that any worker tries to escape, he brings them back in, you know. And so she doesn't know anything because she has a disability. She's also like, she got raped by one of the worker who is in charge of them there, and he tells her to take birth control pills so that whenever he sleeps with her, she doesn't get pregnant. He tells her that it's good for her mind, her brain, and stuff like that. So she doesn't know anything. And then when she, like, you know, when she just had like enough of it, she decides to suicide herself and cut her hand. This worker who like likes her, he takes her to the hospital, so that's where she escapes, and she calls Deluxe Taxi. So when Deluxe Taxi gets called, they pick up the person, they drive the person to an arcade place and they hand them an envelope with instruction and coins, and they go and get and play the game, put coins into the arcade game, and the game starts and it gives you an explanation of the rules that, you know, you cannot tell anybody about us. And then if the person you want to get revenge on, do you choose to revenge on them or do you not? If you choose to revenge on them, Deluxe Taxi starts to hunt and start to get your revenge, and the meter will start running and you will have to pay them back for that. But if you don't want to get revenge, you click cancel and you just go away, you know. So this is where she accepts the revenge, and they go and help her. And in doing so, they end up following, you know, getting all these things and going, like, Dookie goes into it. He acts like a normal person, going into the industry, trying to buy like Joktak in the company and all that stuff like that, you know. And then he gets to know them and he kind of screws them over, and pretty much he does the same thing of what they did to Maria. He does it back to them. So eventually, during all this, he was able to help her get her revenge and help all the workers, and they were able to put Tae Han-ho in jail and everything like that, and give the company and money back to all the workers in Maria. So during all this time, Hana has been searching for Chul, and this leads her to the taxi place where she tries to find out what is it that Deluxe Taxi do, you know. And this leads her to meeting Dookie for the first time, and he seems kind of arrogant towards her, and she learns that, you know, the Bluebird president is Chang Sung-chul. He runs his taxi company too. And learning that she might be onto them, he directs her attention away, where to become a Deluxe Taxi driver, you have to be driving for more than over 20 plus years as a taxi driver without accident, a good driving record, meaning this person has to be over 40 years old or more and has a very, very, very good driving record. So this, but you know, that's like to divert her away to not look for someone young like Dookie. But she still doesn't stop the case or drop the case, and she tries to find out Deluxe Taxi as it appears in another case that comes through her desk. So that's the first 2 episodes, but like every episode gives you like a new case that they go into, and it opens up a can of worms, and there's more involved, and there, in a way, you see that Dookie, he just wants justice to these people, which the law didn't do, while you're starting to see that Chang Sung-chul, he wants more than that, you know. He wants to get rid of all bad and keep good only, you know. So it's starting to be like that, but at the same time, you're just seeing how amazing Deluxe Taxi is and how they're working. And as the episodes go on, it reveals a lot of the characters, how they even got recruited into Deluxe Taxi in the first place, you know. So we already got introduced to Dookie, how he ended up in Deluxe Taxi, and also how Chang Sung-chul created Deluxe Taxi. And like the next couple episodes, we also go into Gong, who how she became that. She has a sister and things happen, and how she ended up becoming a part of Deluxe Taxi, and obviously the engineering guys and everything. And obviously as it goes on, I've been like reading stuff about it, that Hana, when working as a prosecutor, she's seen that the law doesn't do any justice, even though she always tries to do well in her cases. She's gonna eventually end up helping Deluxe Taxi because when the law doesn't help, you know, people out there are helpless and they need help. It's just like how they let this Chul, the sexual predator, go free in the first place, you know, when he's given us a death sentence. So she's seen that that's not fair, that's not right, you know. So eventually she's gonna join them, help them, but pretty much do it correctly versus then doing illegally the way they do it. That's just what I've been reading. But it is such an amazing drama. She actually watched it with me. At first he was just kind of like, meh, but then we started watching it together, and like it's really, really good. I really highly recommend it. And if you're lately, I'm not into a lot of romance drama lately. I've been really into like thriller, mysteries, and crime, and this is actually one of them that I'm watching, and I'm very excited to see how it's gonna turn out and how everything is just literally gonna turn out, because there's just so many things they're gonna go through, and so many of their past is opening up, and you're just like seeing it all, and how, you know, they're gonna keep Deluxe Taxi as a secret, and when, you know, it gets out, especially when Hana is digging into it, and she's gonna bring them out to the public to see it. But that's the recap for the first 2 episodes of Taxi Driver. If you guys have not seen it, do check it out. I'd highly recommend it if you're trying to find something to watch. But that's it for today's review, and I'll see you guys next time.